What's up guys, and welcome to the review of the Alldocube iPlay Mini 60 Turbo, a $150 tablet with gaming capabilities. So let's see if this is a tablet for you, and let's find out. Hey guys, what's up and welcome to the unboxing and review of the Alldocube iPlay Mini 60 Turbo tablet, a mouthful of a name. It costs $152 USD, and my package that I got comes with a case as well as a keyboard over here, and let's find out if it's good or bad. So before we get to the tablet, let's look at the accessories that we got. So first, here is a case, and I'm just going to unbox it quickly. I hope it's magnetic so it can close and turn on the tablet and turn it off as well. Not the most high quality case because it doesn't feel super amazing. It's not a felt cover over here, but it does feel durable enough. So we'll take a look at that later. The second piece over here is a Bluetooth keyboard. Again, a very cheap Bluetooth keyboard that will, very cheap quality, very thin metal on the back. And the plastic here is also not the highest quality as well. So not the best accessories, but you do get those included. So let's take a look at the tablet and what's inside the box. Alright, so we're going to take this out like so and open the box up. And inside we have the tablet itself. Let's look at what else we have inside the tablet before taking a look at the tablet. So first we have a menu in multiple languages. I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to take a look in here and see what we have. In here we have a charging brick. I'm going to see what else we have inside this box. Nothing else left in here, and we also have a USB-C cable as well as a pin popper. And then down in here, it comes with a USB-C to a USB adapter. It comes with a headphone jack, or sorry, not a headphone jack, a pair of headphones as well as a pen. So quite a couple of accessories that we got here. Let's put this aside and take a look at the tablet itself. All right, so this is the tablet. First, I'm going to do the peel. There we go. So now that it's off, we'll take a look at the tablet. So the back of the tablet is metal. It is a nice gunmetal gray finish. It is, I'll say, not super light for a tablet. On the back, you do have the camera as well as the flash. The camera does protrude out maybe, let's say, 3 to 4 millimeters. The top and the bottom here are actually plastic, most likely for reception purposes, because without the plastic pieces, you're going to get really bad reception. And then on the right side, you have your power button as well as the volume buttons. On this side, you have your SIM slot. And then on the top, you have one pair of speakers. And you also have your USB-C, which is a 3.1, I believe, which is actually quite impressive. And then on the other side, you have your other set of speakers to make up a stereo speaker set. So before we turn on the tablet, the one thing I want to let you know is that the case that you buy from them, it does not have a magnet inside so that when you close it, it actually turns the screen on and off. Unfortunately, it just covers it. So you still got to turn the screen on and off, which is, in my opinion, one of the biggest advantages of using one of these cases, is that you don't have to turn the screen on and off. It automatically turns on when you turn or when you open the case, and closes when you close the case as well. So it doesn't do that, and it's not a very high quality case, so I don't recommend that you get this particular case, just the tablet itself. Okay, so turning on the tablet here. So this is what the tablet looks like. So as you can see, the bezels are actually fairly, I'll say, decent. The top and bottom bezels are slightly bigger than the side bezels, but in my opinion, these are the correct size bezels that you're going to want in your tablet. They're nice and small so that they don't look so ugly, and also they're big enough that you can actually hold on to it, for example, like this, right? So in my opinion, bezels are the right size. The first thing I want to show you and talk to you about is the display. So this is a 1920 by 1200 display. Maximum brightness of about 300 nits, so not super duper bright, but it does get bright enough. The one caveat and the one pet peeve I have is actually the auto brightness over here. The auto brightness is not very granular. So you will see, for example, if I cover it like this, let's turn it on. If I cover it like this, you'll see that the auto brightness turns on and off, and you can see it step up and down. It's not actually doing it, but it'll step up and down in very big steps, which I don't like. I think the auto brightness, I want to say the function or even the sensor itself, is not really giving me the granular steps that I would like in, let's say, a cell phone. That being said though, the actual quality of the display is very good. So I'm going to play this clip, which I usually do. So this is an LCD display. It's an LCD IPS. You do not get an OLED display here. The colors are okay. They're, I guess, okay saturated. As you can see, the colors on the snake, they look fairly decent. This is a fairly high resolution for an 8-inch tablet. I know that other tablets give you 2048 by 1536, which is even higher resolution than this, but in my opinion, this is much high enough resolution. You can see the colors on the, well, I just kind of skipped it, but the colors on the bird, the color on the moss, they look fine. I've seen it look better in many other places, but they will do for such a cheap tablet as this, which is only $150. The last thing I want to talk about is the touchscreen. Because it's $150 and also because I've used a lot of tablets, I can kind of feel that the touchscreen on this is not as sensitive as you would get on an iPad or a really expensive, you know, no, you know what, even as a $500 tablet. It's very slightly less sensitive, so I think the touch sensor, or the touch, I forget what you call it, like capacitive display, inside is a little bit smaller than what you get in an 8-inch tablet, so it's very, very slightly not so sensitive compared to other higher end displays, but it's definitely passable, and it's not nowhere near as bad as those bad quality touchscreens that you used to get with old Chinese tablets. The next thing I want to talk about is the sound. You do have 2 stereo speakers, so there is some version of stereo separation that you can get in this tablet, but I wouldn't really pin your hopes on it that much. Volume, maximum volume gets very loud, so that's nice. That being said, the quality is another story. So I'm going to play this clip and then I'll talk about it after that. So as you can hear, there is virtually no bass, which I never expected it to have any bass because it is such a cheap tablet, $150 or maybe even less depending on the package and depending on the discount you get. But as you can hear, as that was maximum volume. And the other thing is that maximum volume, you can kind of hear that the sound gets a little bit muddled. You don't really know what is a mid and what is a high, and everything just kind of gets muddled and kind of mushed together. So that is something that you do have to be aware when you get this tablet. It's not going to be the best sound. Battery life on the tablet here is a mixed bag because you do get a 5500 milliamp hour battery. When I was reading comics, for example, on here, or when I was reading a book, a lot of that stuff, I could actually get decent battery life out of this. Maybe 6, 7, maybe even 8 hours depending on the battery life of depending on the brightness of the tablet. So that was actually pretty good. You're watching like a YouTube or Netflix, you could get a little bit more than that actually. So maybe like 7 to 8, at least from what I remember. And then for gaming, that dips down to 3 hours, maybe even 2, depending if you're playing like a really intense game as well. But otherwise, I'm fairly pleased with the battery capacity and the battery life of this tablet. I'm currently at 30%, and otherwise it's really not bad. The overnight battery drain on this tablet is very good. I think it averaged about 2 to 3% over a 12-hour period, so no complaints there. So the responsiveness of this tablet is actually quite good. Even though it's only a 60 Hertz display, it's still fairly responsive. You can see that everything that I'm doing here, there's almost no lag. It is running an older Snapdragon 6 Gen 1 chip, which is a little bit older, a little bit slower. It's not a flagship chip, but it does everything how it's supposed to be. So if we're going to open up Chrome, you'll see, when I open up Chrome, you'll see how quickly it opens. That was almost instant there. If I open up YouTube, you'll see how quickly that opens as well. If I open up a Canadian streaming site, same thing. Very, very quick. Well, less quick, but there you go. Let's open up Google Play. That was basically instant. I open up a library app, same thing. So all of this is actually very impressive, and there's going to be nothing left to be desired with regards to the software. You are able to watch Netflix and Disney Plus at full 1080p resolution, so that's good as well. I didn't run any benchmarks on this device, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to start playing some games and showing you what it's about. So the first game is a very, very low demand game over here. So as you can see, this is called Pocket City. I don't have a very big city at the moment, but this would never have taxed this tablet in the first place. But you can just see that it's nice to play like a city builder on a nice 8-inch tablet over here. Alright, so here is Disney Speedstorm. So this is a racing game, which is not a very aggressive game or a very demanding in terms of graphics. But it's running at 60 Hertz right now. I can feel it. And it's also currently doing, I think I'm at high settings as well. So this is not a very demanding game, but as you can see, it plays perfectly well. Oops, I am losing, but that's also because I'm filming at the same time, so that's going to be my excuse. And we'll see how this continues. I'll just continue playing until the end of the lap, because it's just a one-lap game. But otherwise, yes, very, very... no sweat. The Snapdragon 6 Gen 1, with the amount of RAM that this thing has, it will not sweat at all with regards to a game like this. It definitely will sweat in Genshin, which I will show you in a little bit. But for something like this is, I would say, a mid-range game is probably the best way I can describe this. And yeah. And there we go. Alright, so this is me playing Genshin Impact currently at medium settings at 60 frames a second. So as you can see, the performance is actually not bad. I'm actually very, very pleased with it. That being said though, I think if you want to have 60 frames a second at all times, you're probably better off going to lowest settings instead of medium, and then you will have 60 frames a second at all times. Like in this, it looks like it's fluctuating between, I want to say 40 and 50 frames a second. So if that's the case, then if you want more frames, you can go to lowest settings. But honestly, lowest settings looks really bad. So I really don't like looking at it, which is why I moved it to medium. And I'm living with a 40 to 50 frame a second or thereabouts. But as you can see, it does work fairly well. So nothing doing, this thing works well. And you can play games on this as well. So the Snapdragon 6 Gen 1 is quite capable. It's also a 1920 by 1200 as well, which also means that you're not trying to run a 2K or even a 4K display on a little ARM chip, but you're running a you're running a 1080p resolution at the very least. So let's jump off this wall and see what happens. Yeah, we can see a little bit of lag right there as I'm panning the screen around. If it's a little too fast, you can see it kind of start slowing down. But otherwise, absolutely very playable. Definitely something that you can keep in mind if you want to get a gaming tablet. This thing will definitely serve you quite well considering the price. There's two more things I want to talk about here, and the first is connectivity, and it's something that I am pleasantly surprised by. You can see my Wi-Fi reception right now is actually pretty good. This reception right here is actually quite impressive because in the top floor of my house there's actually quite a few devices. Even my expensive ThinkPad laptops, even from work, sometimes have troubles and struggle up in my room, but this one does not. So absolutely no issues with the reception in this device. The next is the camera. Just please, let's not use the camera on tablets like these. They're just horrible, so let's just not use them at all. Alright, so overall I'm very happy with this iPlay Mini 60 Turbo. It only costs $150, and what you get with that is a Snapdragon 6 Gen 1. You get 128 gigs of storage. You also get 8 gigabytes of RAM, Snapdragon Adreno E710 GPU, Android 14, 1920 by 1200 in-cell display. You can watch Netflix in HD. The Snapdragon 6 Gen 1 does very, very well. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention is you can actually plug this into a USB-C dock that's connected to a display, and this will actually display, which I personally tested, and it actually works. So I'm very, very impressed with that. So this thing does have 8 gigs. It says 16, but that's not right. It's 8 gigabytes of memory. But otherwise, very, very pleased with the overall performance and how it has done, as well as what you get for the price. I will mention the other thing that I am not happy about, and that is the vibration motor. The vibration motor in this is so weak, I can barely feel it when I'm typing anything. So really, I have 2 main downsides to this tablet. Again, the first that I mentioned before, vibration motor, super weak. The second is the audio. The audio quality is actually a little bit not so good, especially when you put it on maximum volume. It's a little bit hard to differentiate what it's actually playing because of how muffled some of it sounds. So those are my 2 main issues with it. Everything else is in line for the price. $150, you get an okay screen. It's going to work out fine. You get decent performance. You can play a lot of stuff on this tablet, especially if you can play Genshin. You can play a lot of other things as well. The other thing that you shouldn't use is the camera, but otherwise I'm very pleased with it. $150. You can also buy some accessories. I really wouldn't recommend you buy this. Like I said before, the case, not very useful. I also wouldn't recommend you get this tablet included with it as well, because it's just a very cheap tablet you can get anywhere else, or keyboard, sorry. Just get the tablet by itself, because that's where the important things are. So anyway, hope you enjoyed my video. If you want to buy this, check it in the link down in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.